It was one of those days where everything felt like it was dragging on forever. I'd just gotten home from work, and I was exhausted. My feet were killing me, and my stomach was growling like crazy. I wasn't in the mood to cook, so I grabbed my phone and ordered a large pepperoni pizza. I figured it'd be quick, just something easy to fill me up before I crashed the night. But the pizza was taking forever, like way longer than usual. I checked the time. It had been over an hour since I placed the order. I started getting annoyed, so I called the pizza place. The guy on the phone sounded apologetic and said, "Sorry about that. Your pizza is on its way." I hung up, still a little irritated, but whatever. At least it was coming. While I waited, I decided to browse for a new phone. My current one was acting up. The screen was cracked, and it kept freezing. I dropped it on the concrete a few weeks back, and it had been a mess ever since. I started scrolling through Craigslist and some social media sites, looking for a decent deal. Finally, the doorbell rang. I was so hungry I practically jumped off the couch and ran to the door. It was a delivery guy, holding my pizza. I took it, tipped him, and carried the box to the kitchen. The smell hit me first. Rich, cheesy, and exactly what I'd been craving. I opened the box, grabbed a slice, and devoured it. It was so good. I ended up eating the whole thing. After I finished, I grabbed a can of cold Coke from the fridge, plopped back on the couch, and turned on Game of Thrones. I was so tired that my eyes started to droop almost immediately. Just as I was about to drift off, I heard a soft creak, like a floorboard shifting, coming from somewhere inside the house. I froze. My heart skipped a beat, and I sat up straight, straining to listen. Everything was quiet. Maybe it was nothing. I told myself it was probably the neighbor's cat. That little guy was always sneaking into my house through the kitchen window. I got up, checked the kitchen, and sure enough, the window was open a crack. I closed it, locked it, and went back to the couch. I tried to relax, but something felt off. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I kept glancing around the room, half expecting to see someone standing in the shadows. Eventually, I gave up on the show and decided to go to bed. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom, changed into my pajamas, and crawled under the covers. It didn't take long for me to fall asleep, but then something woke me up. It was a loud crash, like something heavy had fallen. My eyes snapped open, and I lay there in the dark, my heart pounding in my chest. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe I'd left something on the edge of a table and it had tipped over. But deep down, I knew that wasn't it. I got out of bed, grabbed the baseball bat I kept by my nightstand, and crept out into the hallway. The house was eerily silent, but I could feel the tension in the air. I slowly made my way down the stairs, gripping the bat so tightly my knuckles turned white. When I reached the kitchen, my stomach dropped. The window was wide open. The fridge door was open too, and the light from inside was spilling out into the room. On the counter, there was a milk bottle, open, with some of the milk missing. Someone had been here. Someone had been in my house. Panic surged through me, and I ran to the front door to make sure it was locked. It was locked. I checked the other windows, but they were all secure. Whoever had been in here must have come in through the kitchen window and left the same way. I grabbed my phone and called the police. They arrived about 10 minutes later, and I explained what had happened. They asked me a bunch of questions. Was I expecting anyone? Had I heard anything else? Did I see anyone? Then I remembered the security cameras. I had one at the front door and one in the kitchen. The officers and I went through the footage, and what we saw made my blood run cold. At first, everything looked normal. The delivery guy came, dropped off the pizza, and left. Then, about 20 minutes later, the kitchen camera picked up movement. A figure climbed in through the window, someone wearing a clown mask. I felt like I was going to be sick. The person moved around the kitchen, opening the fridge, drinking from the milk bottle, and then just stood there. They didn't take anything. They didn't break anything. They just stood there, staring at the camera. The officers asked me if I recognized the person. I didn't. I had no idea who it was or why they'd come into my house. After they left, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what could have happened if the person had come upstairs while I was sleeping. I'd been in such a deep sleep, I wouldn't have heard them. Since that night, I've been paranoid. I double-check every door and window before I go to bed. I keep the bat by my bed at all times. And I can't look at a clown mask without feeling a chill run down my spine. I still don't know who it was or why they came into my house. But I do know one thing. I'll never forget the night the clown came to my house.